Hey guys, waiting for a couple of people to roll in here. I want to talk to you real quickly about this concept. Say hello when you come in. Let me know you're here. This concept of time. And when you get this, which hopefully you will here today, it can totally change your life. Hey David, thanks for being here. Appreciate that. Say hello when you come in so I know you're here. And we're going to get going. Hey, Matt, I'm doing really well. Hope you are too. You know, here's the thing, we're all dealing with the same thing, this whole lockdown that we're in. Yeah, Phil, I'm very safe. I believe we're all safe, quite frankly. And so hopefully you feel the same way because when you don't feel safe, you get into fear, and fear feeds the beast. I'll come back to that in a minute. But the first thing I want you to do, hey, Rochelle's a member of our Project Stay Home online group that gets together once a week live for live coaching with me and Bersabeh via Zoom. Glad to have you here, Rochelle. Write this down, 168. Considering what, Matt? You should be, life has given you a gift. And it's a gift wrapped in pain, maybe. It's a gift wrapped in difficulty, but it's a gift nonetheless. And so, it shouldn't be I'm doing very well considering, which is implying that things are not good right now. And I know things are different right now. I know things are challenging right now. But the bottom line is we grow the most in the crucible of challenge. And the unfortunate truth is that very, very few of us ever make a significant change until we experience enough pain. And it's unfortunate, but that's the truth, straight up, And so a lot of us are in pain right now. We're moving into May. Danielle, good to see you. And we're moving into our 7th week in our voluntary house arrest. Voluntary. Think about that. It didn't take militia. It didn't take force. So it took fear. And when you're in fear, we tend to give our power away. But let me back up. Write this number down, 168. Because so many people, did you write it down? Now, I'll tell you why this is important. That's how many hours you have in a week. And so many people say to me when I'm working with them and coaching with them, well, you need to work out more. You need to read more. You need to study more. You need to get a coach, and you need to invest in yourself. And, well, I don't have time. Well, you have all the time there is. And so do I. Every single one of us has 168 hours in a week. No exception. Every single one of us has 168 hours in a week. Now, the question is, not do you have time, because you have all the time there is. The question is, what are you doing with that time? Now, let's back up before this voluntary lockdown and voluntary house arrest. And let's look at the statistics. According to Gallup, the average individual in North America watches television prior to this situation, watches television 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day, the average. Now, that's average, all right? And that's prior to this. I'm going to come to this in a minute, but let's talk about prior to. 5 hours a day prior to this situation. That's 35 hours a week, okay, watching television. Now, because that's an average, what that means is that for everyone who watches 5 hours, which is the average, there's someone who watches 7, and there's someone who watches 3. And you say, well, okay, 3 is not so bad. Really? Well, 3 hours a day of television is 21 hours a week. Are you with me on this? 7 hours a day is 49 hours a week. That's more than a full-time corporate job. And at 5 hours a day, which is the average, that's 35 hours a week, which is about the same as a full-time corporate job. Now, let's put us into voluntary house arrest. And I'm talking to people every single day because I'm doing coaching sessions every single day. And here's what most people are doing right now. They're binging on Netflix. They're binging on social media. It's a drug. It's an addiction. And you say, well, James, you're on social media right now. Yeah, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't use social media. I'm suggesting that you be disciplined enough to use it appropriately. Because let's face it, some people are just flat out addicted. Because what we know about social media is it gives us a dopamine spike, and that's a drug. It's the same neurotransmitter that happens when you get a good workout, and it gives you a high. And every single time, we get a like or we get a comment or we get a share or any of that, it gives us a little dopamine spike. And then we get more and more addicted to this dopamine spike, and we have to go back and back and back and back and back. And so my point is this, even if you don't have Netflix, fill in the blank, HBO, television, voodoo, whatever, name your poison. All right? But I'm talking to people every single day from around the globe, and they're binging because they're feeling sorry for themselves. First of all, they're bored. Rita, they're bored. And let me say to you, you're not bored. If you think you're bored, the reality is you're boring. With all love and respect, you're boring. Because if you can't find something in your own mind to entertain you, if you can't find something in your own mind to educate you, if you can't find something in your own mind to hold you in rapt attention, then you're just not very interesting. 168 hours, write that down, 168. That's what every single one of us has every single week. And what are you doing? Because I guarantee you, if the average was 5 hours a day in television prior to our voluntary house arrest, you weren't forced, voluntary, then I guarantee you it's more than that now. When I work one-on-one with clients, I have them take their entire day and break it down and look exactly at where they're investing their time or spending their time normally. And, they tell me they don't have time. And invariably, two things occur. They're number one, they're wasting their time on things that have no return on that investment, have no leverage. They're wasting their time. And number two, when they break it all down and subtract everything they do from sleeping to eating to everything, and subtract it from 168, they still have normally on average about 30 hours left. So then I say, what are you doing with that 30 hours? They don't know. They don't know, because most people are flying by the seat of their pants. Most people are going, doing something when they feel like it. Quit waiting till you feel like it. Emerson told us, do the thing, and then you get the energy to do the thing. I love that quote. You follow that? Don't wait to get the energy to do the thing. Do the thing, and then you get the energy to do the thing. Good for you, Rochelle. And by the way, guys, there's no value in lying to yourself. It really isn't. So be straight up honest with yourself. What are you doing with your time? Because most people are binging on Netflix, and they're binging on television, or they're binging on Voodoo, or they're binging on their feed, they're binging on social media, and they're putting up silly, stupid videos because they're bored. No, they're not bored, they're boring. And so, Aviva is a member of our online community, Project Stay Home. And we get together once a week, live via Zoom, with people from all over the globe. And we talk about powerful things that will help move you forward. Because here's the bottom line, guys. You're going to come out of this eventually. Now, you're not going to come out and be the same. And the world's not going to be the same. If you think things are going to go back to normal, you need to think again. They're not going back. You mark my words, there's going to be economic changes. It's already happened. There's going to be travel changes. There's going to be social changes. And that's already happened too. You think, once they say, okay, it's all cool, ready to go, you can go do whatever you want. You think everybody's going to magically just, start hugging each other and, oh, so I missed you so bad. No, because there's still a tremendous amount of fear in this world. And there's always going to be those who are still wearing the mask forever. There's always going to be those who, you go to shake their hand, they're going to go, oh, let's do this. Let's elbow bump or let's fist bump. Please. It's not going to be the same. Mark my words. You got to get your head on. You got to get your game on, because this is not the last time either. Mark my words. It's not the last time. Because what's never going to occur is that it's never going to be forgotten that in a matter of 2 weeks, the entire world put themselves under voluntary house arrest. It's never going to be forgotten. It was so easy. What? Fear. I'm going to die. Yeah, you are. And so am I. We're all going to die. And the sooner you come to terms with that, then the sooner maybe you'll start to live. But the bottom line here, are you following me on this? Is this making sense to you? I'm always going to shoot you straight. And so Danielle, join our group, because we have offline conversations that you would probably want to dial into. You would probably want to dial into, given your comment. And so here's the thing. 168 hours. We're going on to our 7th week of Anthony Rogers, my man. We're going on to our 7th week of voluntary house arrest. Voluntary house arrest. And 168 hours a week. Now, you take 7 weeks. It's not quite 7 weeks yet, but it's going to be soon. It's going to be May in a heartbeat. You take 7 weeks and you multiply that. I'll tell you in a minute, Danielle. Go to the link above my head. You'll go to my website. I can't put a direct link. Facebook won't let me. Figure that one out. I've been taken down and blocked several times. So figure that one out. That's all I'm saying. Go to the link above my head, and when you get there, go to store, Danielle. And when you click on store, the first thing that comes up is Project Stay Home. And since you've asked about it, I'll just tell everyone, it's $13.97 a month for 4 live coaching sessions with me and Bersabeh every single month with this community from around the world. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But, I mean, it used to be $97 a month for 1 live session a month. And when this all went down, Bersabeh and I stepped back and we said, how can we support more people during this time? And so we increased it from 1 session to 4 live sessions. And by the way, they're all recorded, and there's over 200 hours of previously recorded sessions already in the library, which you have full access to. So if you're going to binge on something that's going to help you grow. And we took it from $97 down to $13.97. And thank you, Rochelle. Rochelle is a member. And it better be worth it. It's less than HBO. The reason we came up with $13.97 is because we said, let's make it less than HBO. People are going to be binging on crap, technical term. Let's help them binge on something or dial into something that'll transform their life. If you want to invest $13.97 in your life for 4 live coaching sessions with me and Bersabeh, then with all due love and respect, you're not the right person. You don't get it. And I'll still be here when the meltdown comes, which it will, because this is not the last time. You mark my words, this is not it. It's never going back. Now we know. In 2 weeks' time, we can put, thank you, Aviva. Aviva's a member. In 2 weeks' time, the whole world will put themselves into get your friends, Danielle. We need some some movers and shakers like you. We really do, because we're building some momentum here. And that's, we'll talk more, but because that's not why I'm here today. But nonetheless, you know, it will never be forgotten that within 2 weeks' time, the entire world put themselves into voluntary house arrest. No force, no militia, just fear. Think about it. Life has changed forever, guys. The world has changed forever. And here's the bottom line. You're going to come out of this situation whenever things open up, whenever they do. It's probably not going to be till maybe July is what I'm hearing. Could be sooner, could be later. But you're going to come out of it eventually, but you're not going to come out of the same world, because people are not going to automatically start hugging each other and high-fiving anymore. They're just not going to do it. People are going to be afraid to go to concerts. There's always going to be those who are afraid to go, into a gym. There's always going to be those who are afraid to go into public places. You probably go into a restaurant and they'll have the tables seated 6 feet apart. It's not going to be the same. It's not. And if you think it is, think again. And you got to get your game on. You got to get your game on. And so what are you doing right now? Because the bottom line is, when you come out of it, you're either going to be better or worse. You're like, James, no, I'm going to be the same. No, you're not. You're not. There is no same. One of the 7 hermetic laws, scientific laws of this universe, is called the perpetual transmutation of energy. That's a mouthful, I know. But what that law states is that energy is always in motion. It's always moving into form, through form, back out of form. And so bottom line, when you understand the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, it tells you if you're not growing, you are dying. There's no staying the same. You're either creating or you're destroying. There's no staying the same. And so when you come out of this, we're already 7 weeks in. What have you done with 7 weeks? 168. I told you to write that number down. 168 hours is what you have in a week. Now you multiply that times 7. It's not quite 7 yet, but it's getting there. That's 1,200, almost 1,200 hours. You've been in voluntary house arrest. 1,200 hours. You look at a full-time corporate job, that's 3 40-hour weeks. You've been in voluntary lockdown. What do you have to show for it? 3 40-hour weeks, 1,200 hours. It's not quite 12, it's 1178, I think. But do the math. Okay? 168 a week is what you have. Multiply that times 7. And that's where you've been in lockdown. What have you done? What have you done? I talk to people, I coach people every single day, and they've not done much of anything except feel sorry for themselves and worry and be in fear and sleep too long and binge on TV and social media and God knows what, lay around on the couch. Really? How many times have you said, I need a new job? How many times have you said, I need to do something with my life? How many times have you said, I need to change? I need to do something. Well, God, life has given you this gift of 1,200 hours already. What have you done with it? It's kind of sobering, isn't it? Because, as I said to you earlier, prior to this, the average individual watches television in North America 5 hours a day. I guarantee it's more than that now. Guarantee. But let's just use 5 hours a day. That's 35 hours a week. That's not just 35 hours. That's 35 hours of your life that will never, ever be regained. That's 1,200 hours of your life. 7 weeks that will never be regained. 1 year from today, you're going to look back to this situation and you're going to go, man, I leveraged it. I used it. I rocked it. Or you're going to look back and go, I totally blew it. Which is it going to be? It's entirely up to you. You know, so many people are worried and concerned, fasting and praying. Good for you. I've completely transformed my diet, you know, in these last 7 weeks. So has Bersabeh. The two of us have been, you know, she's way deep into nutrition and the effects upon the body organs. And you know, Bersabeh's a coach too. She's like super intuitive, super dialed in. She does coaching as well. And you know, her intuition is ramping up. She's been doing the work to ramp that up, and pretty soon that's going to come out more and more into the public arena. But we're working, you know, we're busier than we've ever been. We're not, you know, if you sleep 8 hours a night, that's 33% of your entire life. And you know, Dr. Lipsky, who is a sleep specialist and a psychologist, has done massive research to prove that the most healthy hours of sleep are about 6.5 hours. Anything more than that is not healthy. The National Sleep Foundation, it's their job to study sleep. You ask them how long we need to sleep, and they say, well, it depends. It depends. I talk to people now who are sleeping 10 hours. Okay. You know, I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, you know, that's 10 hours of your life. You know, you go to the end of it all and you stand in front of your higher council and they say, what'd you do? Watched a lot of Netflix? Got a lot of sleep. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do with it? It's already 1,200 hours that you've been in voluntary house arrest. What are you doing with it? If you're not improving yourself, then you're getting worse. Because let me tell you this, again, please listen to me. You need to get your game on, because the world is never going back, and there's going to be future challenges. If you think there's not, think again. A lot of businesses are never coming back. They can't. A lot of people are going under. And you've got to re-equip yourself. You've got to reinvent yourself. You've got to adapt. And to the degree you do that, you will win. To the degree you squander your time, you know, people say to me, I haven't got time to change my diet. I haven't got time to work out. I haven't got time to read great books. I haven't got time to work with a coach and to improve myself. Well, you know, you have all the time there is, 168 hours in a week. What are you doing with the time? That's the question. And you think, you know, most people don't do it because they think I've got time. Well, I'll do it when. I have time, I'll do it when. You don't have time. Time has you. Think about it. 1,200 hours has already gone by. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Can you believe it? You don't have time. Time has you. And guess what? Let me be real frank with you. It's going to wipe you off the playing field before you're ready. Me too. All of us. We're going to get wiped off the board before we're ready to get wiped off. The only time you have is now. So hopefully this is inspiring for you. Hopefully this is a little kick in the pants if that's what you need. Because life has afforded you a great gift. It's a gift wrapped in difficulty, but most great gifts come in challenging packages. Because we grow the most in the crucible of challenge. That's a fact. When we experience enough pain, then we do what's necessary to escape the pain. And most people don't ever do anything until they experience enough pain. So if you haven't experienced enough pain yet, then God bless you. I send you lots of love. And when you do experience enough pain and you're ready to have someone help you, because now is not the time to fly solo. Let me tell you this. Now is not the time to fly solo. You need a community. We all need a community. We need connection, and we have to do it in new and unique ways. So at the end of the day, I already mentioned this earlier, but you know, when this whole COVID crazy went down, Bersabeh and I stepped back and we said, how can we support all of our people, all the people more? How can we give more? How can we contribute more? And we did about 3 things. Number one, we put together Project Stay Home. And, you know, it used to be $97 a month, and we met once a month, and we recorded all those sessions. They're on Zoom, they're live, and we put them into a bank. So we have over 200 hours of pre-recorded sessions already in the library. And we have a special email where you can submit questions in advance, or you can just show up live and have them in a conversation with me and Bear. And we took that and we said, let's take it from 1 time a month to 4 times a month. So we meet once a week on Thursday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. We have people from all over the world, getting up at different times and being part of this community. And we took it from $97 a month down to $13.97 a month because Bear said, let's make it cheaper than HBO. You know, let's remove all barriers to entry. $13.97. And for 4 coaching sessions live with me and Bear every single month. So look, if the average individual watches television 5 hours a day prior to this craziness, then I'm asking you even less. Invest 4 hours a month in your own growth and development. And if you won't do that, then God bless you. Okay, you don't get it. You just don't get it. If you won't invest $13.97, then you just don't get it. So that's the first thing we did. If you're interested in that opportunity, just click the link. Facebook won't let me put direct links anymore. I'm blocked for some reason. Figure that out. But click the link above my head, go to my website, and click on store. And the first thing that comes up is Project Stay Home. $13.97, and you're off to the races, and you'll join us on Thursday. We're doing really cool things. You know, we're analyzing movies together. We're diving deep together. We're having meaningful conversations, all kinds of cool things. We just analyzed the heck out of The Matrix 2 weeks ago. You know, I've threatened to do this for years because The Matrix is not a movie, it's a documentary. And it's really appropriate right now. So, and that's in the library. It's already there. All right. And much, 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 much more. The second thing we did is Bersabeh and I took our coaching fees and cut them in half. Cut them in half. It's not going to be that way forever. And, you know, we're still not the least expensive coaches on the planet, nor should we be, because I'm not an accountability partner. Let's set a goal. Did you make it? No, I'm a dive deep, get into your unresolved emotional issues and traumas kind of coach that will set you free mentally and emotionally. And that's where the rubber meets the road. We cut them in half so that we could support more people and work with more people. Third thing we did is if you go to the link above my head, jamesarthurray.com, there's a tab for a free coaching session. Now, that's been there for a long time, and it used to go to one of my certified coaches. And my certified coaches would do the free intro coaching sessions and then decide what ongoing opportunity was right for the individual he or she was talking to. You know, whether it was working with me one-on-one or with Bersabeh one-on-one or, you know, in groups, etc. Well, since COVID, I took all my coaches off. And I'm doing them. I'm doing a free intro coaching session. Now, let me just put a disclaimer here. If you're already a client of mine and you're already familiar with my work and you go to schedule a free coaching session with me, you're not going to get it, because this is only for people who have not worked with me before and don't really know how I work. If you already know how I work, then don't take advantage of the situation, because you already know how I work. And if you won't step up to making an investment in yourself, then we're not right for each other. I hope that makes sense to you. But we wanted to support more and more and more people. So I'm busier than heck right now. I'm doing coaching sessions all day long, every single day. There is no grass growing under our feet. I am not sleeping my time away and binging on Netflix. I'm here to support you and to give you the things that you need so that you can come out of this thing a brand new person and be prepared and equipped to operate in a new world. So I want to thank you for being here. And, remember, 168 hours, 1,200 hours already. How have you used them? I'd love to have you join. The easiest way is $13.97. If you want to start working with us, then just click the link, and all the opportunities are on the website. I want to thank you for being here, and just tell you, today is Sunday. It's the day of the sun. In the esoteric traditions, every single day is correspondent to one of the original 7 sacred planets. It's the day of the sun, and it's time to rise. It's time to rise. It's time for you to stand up and take your power back. Stop living in fear. Stop feeding the beast. And remember who you are. Lots of love to you. Rise up. I'll talk to you soon.